Hello and welcome to this week at GearReport. It's episode 208 for the 16th of May, 2024. I'm going to tell you right off the bat. Oh, look at that. Gun Websites is here. It gives us a thumbs up. We appreciate that, G-Webs. I wonder if that means G-Webs is not at the NRA. Most of the people that are our typical audience for this program are covering, they're media folks that are covering the NRA annual meetings and exposition, or whatever they call it, NRAM we call it, in Dallas, Texas. I'm here. TJ called me earlier, said he was going to make it, but he has a flight early in the morning, and I've had kind of a rough day as well. So we're going to keep this one pretty quick. I'm going to talk about just a few things, and that is, number one is that TJ is going to the NRA shows. So if you are tuned in, you have anything that you'd like him to be on the lookout for, to get coverage of, to talk to a brand about, to get any information for you, or arrange for a review or whatever of anything that you're interested in, please leave a comment and let us know what that is. And I'll be here at GearReport headquarters. I can send notes and try to coordinate things. TJ will be there on site at the NRA show, and he'll be able to go around and talk to brands and see what he can arrange as well. As well as, if you know anyone who's going to be out there, you want us to stop by and say hi to them. Obviously he's going to be looking out for Ghost and Clover and the Gun Snob and Gizzard Gary, and all of the folks that you would normally see commenting in the comments of this program on a typical week. TJ is going to be out there hanging with them. I do have to issue an official apology to AJ. So if you've watched our Humvee coverage over the past several years, you'll know that AJ rather, from the Hummer Mods channel, has done a fair amount of Humvee content, whether that is articles or videos, or articles with videos. He has also been part of our SHOT Show coverage team for a few years. So AJ has got some articles that are in the queue, and this has been the case for a few weeks. And I've gone in, and I'm trying not to do them all at the same time. I'm trying to go in and activate a couple of them at a time. And because I was out of the country on a vacation for this past week, none of those got published. So here is the apology going out to AJ that, yes, I'm aware that you put a lot of work into those and are waiting for them to be published, and I will publish them pretty soon. But I was literally out of the country with no internet, cell phone, anything for several days, which was kind of nice to disconnect. So, all right, what do we got here? G-Web says, can TJ set up some lucrative Amazon brand deals for me while he is there? I don't know if that's within the range of TJ's capabilities. I don't want to sell him short. I don't want to oversell him. I'm just going to say, I don't know, but the Gun Snob, I believe that is well within his range of capabilities. So I would certainly consider reaching out to the Gun Snob to see if he can arrange the Amazon stuff. What is this? He says, check your phone. He must be talking to, oh, there it is. I was like, he's not talking to me because I haven't got anything on my phone. Oh my goodness. I see gun people. Isn't that what is typically said? So we got Snob and Sarge and OB and Gary, and that looks like Trey. And I'm trying to see who is in the back, and I'm not sure. I don't want to say the wrong thing. Their face is obscured. I can't see who's in the back. So let's see. Is there another one that's come in here? And my favorite nurse, that is that guy's wife, Media Arminthia. So, and that's the look I get from a lot of women. So, yeah, here we go. Thanks for those, Gun Snob. Oh, that was Kyle hiding back behind there. Okay, good. Yeah, and I'm glad I didn't say anything wrong because, yeah, with Gary's head in front of his, I wasn't sure who that was, but, looks like they're all having fun. Honestly, I'd much rather be there with them than, prob problem is Wayne LaPierre's with them. Yeah, well, I'm not sure he's out there anymore. I don't know what the deal was with his departure, but I was under the impression Wayne had left the building. But anyhow, I've been saying for years, yes, I'm going to get back to NRA. I've been to the NRA show since 2016. Part of that is a protest of the organization, the NRA. Not real activists. I'm not a big fan of how they protect our rights. I want them to do more active protecting, less compromising. That's kind of my stance. Um, oh my. Apparently Gary has recommended the evening's activities, and that's as much I'm going to go into that because this is a family program. And if I actually read to you what that said, you'd be like, "Oh, Gary, Gizzard Gary." But I haven't always been there. I've heard that Gary, you get a few drinks in him and he becomes a party animal. So I'm actually a little fearful for the entire group of people that you saw in those pictures I held up. What the hell? It's a lame stance to say that the NRA should compromise less. All right, G Webs, you can laugh if you want, but you're full of shit. So, and I just wanted to get that on the record. Okay, it's decades of compromise that have got us in the shit show of legislation and enforcement action that we're in now. So, but I don't want to turn this show into a debate on the many failings of the NRA and conservative politicians who purport to have our interest in mind and then stab us in the back when it comes time to actually pass legislation, because that would take the show in a completely different direction. But I do want to talk about, let's see, I'm going to take me off the screen so you can see the thumbnail for just a second. There we go. So that's why nothing got published in the last week. I was actually on a cruise ship for a good bit of that time. And the reason I mention that here is that I am thinking I got so much good content while out on this ship without really disrupting the family vacation. I get up, or I don't sleep much. I stay up too late. I get up too early. I'm wandering the ship by myself, shooting videos of everything at 6 in the morning while everyone else is sleeping. So, yeah, giant boats, do they ruin the ocean and smash all the innocent fish under them? Maybe. Yeah, but I had a good time. So that's as deep as I care to dive into that. Well, I will mention that there are some major initiatives. If you look at the annual reports of some of the big cruise ship companies, which I've not done, but I'm taking this on faith from some people on the internet who have said, go read the annual reports, and they put them up on the screen and say, well, here, Carnival Cruise Lines has 75 ships, or how many they have among all of their companies. And one of their major initiatives is to reduce the pollution impact, especially for the diesel engines and whatnot. They're switching to liquid natural gas or something to make it more eco-friendly. So I don't know. I'm not trying to be an expert there, but I think that I have gained enough insight that I can provide some value for people who are doing travel, even travel that's incidental to what we do here at GearReport, and what a number of the people that you see in the comments here do. We travel to get to industry events, as well as on vacations and whatnot. I'm pretty sure that a travel gear report channel is going to come into existence in the not too distant future, because I have got a lot of video off of this cruise ship, off of the island that we stopped at. And I've got another cruise next month, and then I'll be traveling to New Mexico the next month to do some backpacking, which of course will be featured on the Gear Report camping channel. But there will be travel involved in that as well. So pretty sure that is going to come into existence here shortly and feature a lot of the video you know what? I can't make those any bigger without opening them individually. Maybe I can do it this way. No, I don't think I can really make these big enough that you guys can see. I'll show you a couple pictures though. Like here, this is a beach called Banana Bay on the island of Grand Bahama, just down from Freeport. So do go down around the corner here and you get to Freeport in the Bahamas. So this is about a 20-minute ride. We booked a local travel guide guy to take us down there, drop us off for the day and come back and get us later. And I was able to get some good gear reviews in for some snorkels and fins and sunglasses and hats and other beach accoutrements. And I think, you know, those are many of those are already up on Amazon. I've got some more. You can see modeling some Vortex Optics Jackal sunglasses. And I think we've got some Wiley X sunglasses in here too. The same ones that G-Webs has probably from the VIP gift bag at SHOT Show. But, you know, that's a travel power adapter here that plugs into a European outlet. So I filmed so many little things on the ship that we took with it. Oh, and here was the bad part. The wife's car riding the wrecker to the Toyota dealership after it died at a rest stop. So, but I went and picked that up today. That's part of the reason that I was going all the way to South Carolina to pick that up. And I almost said Florida because I saw TJ popped in. Of course, when I see TJ, I think Florida man, right?
You're leaving tomorrow.
Sort of. That was amazing timing. He unmutes right when Mama San decides to say something. All right. Let's see. G-Web says, "Do they weigh your luggage like a plane?" Apparently not. They do tell you that you need to be 50 pounds or less. Your luggage, rather, not you. And but I've spent a lot of time in the different Facebook groups where people are talking about prep for the cruises, and I've seen scores of people saying, "Oh no one ever checks. It's like a courtesy thing. Like, don't overburden your porters and the people who move the luggage around the ship for you. Like, try to keep it under 50 so that you're not breaking the back." TJ, I see you making faces, but you've been on a cruise ship. You realize that these are all like Pacific, not the big Pacific Islanders. These are like the little
I understand
Filipino types.
I tip them well to carry my 90-pound bag full of illegal liquor and stuff onto the ship.
Now that is something that I hear they're doing a whole lot more about in Jacksonville. I don't know if you know about this in Jacksonville, and I hear that this is common at carnival ports, at least, is they have the drug sniffing dogs. They have them going through the check bags, and they have them checking everyone's carry-ons.
They do. They don't sniff
I didn't see anyone get like the prison wallet exam. So there are still ways that you can get stuff on board the ship, but that would be rather invasive, I think.
That was it.
Anyhow, so yeah, I was just saying that I think we're going to have the travel channel up and running here shortly. I got a whole lot of content for that. We talked about you heading out to NRA and
in the morning.
And Snob sent some pictures. They've gotten started without you. And apparently Gary has picked a strip club that they're going to. So I don't know if they're actually doing that. I don't know if they're actually doing that. I mean, Arminthia is with them. And it seems like it would be a little outside of her comfort zone to go to a strip club.
She don't have to go.
So who knows? Anyhow, nothing published because I was out of town and otherwise occupied with steal extra fruit from the buffet and then make hooch in the cabin bathtub. That would probably work if we had a bathtub in the cabin.
I was
I was in a low rat, inside cabin. Although we did splurge, this is the first time as a family with 2 adults and 3 kids. This is the first time that we got 2 rooms. We said, okay, kids, you 3 are in the room next door, and Mrs. GearReport and I were in another room.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
So
we
we
always
did
get
pay
the
for
balcony
2
and it's still a shower.
We didn't get a balcony.
I always get the balcony.
Probably should.
Smoke my cigars on the patio.
I think I'm going to look into. So we're doing an Alaska cruise next month, and I think that would be really neat. All the scenic cruising up the fjords and stuff. I think that'd be really neat to have a balcony for that one. So I may check and see if I can finagle an upgrade on that, but we don't have enough loyalty points to warrant like an automatic upgrade. But
I'm sorry.
See. Should be good. Should be a lot of opportunities to get some more content for the upcoming travel channel on that one. So I'm excited because I am, I don't want to say I'm a professional at ruining a vacation by turning it into a work trip, but I find a way every time I travel for anything. I got to figure out how I can monetize that trip.
I don't want to be there. I don't want to be there tonight anyways, because I know Clover is doing a bunch of Amazon videos on stuff in the house. So
and they'd be yelling at you to be quiet.
As soon as he gets there, it's video. And I'm like, dude, I would just be sitting there drinking beer on the way.
Yeah.
So
I did something a little different. Speaking of Amazon videos, I actually edited some videos. Let me see if I can get this on the right screen here. This is so crazy. It might actually work.
No.
I haven't done this on Amazon before. I've done like product overview videos, but I haven't done any where I edited in like a different intro. Let me see if I can get one of these to work. Oh, that'd probably work better if I turn the screen on before I start it. There we go. There it is. So I actually did an intro that talks about going on vacation and finding a cool beach.
That's unnerving.
It's like a beached whale nearly.
I was waiting for like you pan down on the water and look, there's Jaws. It's fine.
Yeah. So anyhow, and that was actually the first one that I did, and it had the shorter intro. I did some others where I spliced in more clips. Editing right now has like I'm trying to build into it, like a real video editor, and start, well, that's what they do, right? Like they start at the whole city, and then they do the block, and then they do down on the street looking up at the building, and then they come up, and then when they go up, they go into the apartment or the office or whatever that's up in that building, right? So they build that shot in steps going from really wide down to the specific, in the building or even on a person. And I'm trying to build some of those out. Oh, you muted yourself.
I muted myself. I think I can be a great contributor to the travel channel with the cruising that I do. Totally different than what you do.
Oh yeah. Well, I guarantee that. And and I think from what I've seen, because I mean, you know me, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to go do a ton of research before I do it. So I've spent the last month hitting all the different cruising groups, especially Hello Defense Dad, a yo to you as
What's
well.
up?
I've spent a lot of time because we were on a Carnival ship checking out the Carnival. And I'll tell you what, it's like everyone is like, oh, you're an idiot if you don't get the drink package. And I'm like, I don't want to drink on the ship, So, yes, we approach it very differently.
Totally different vacations, yep. I definitely get the drink package. And then I tip extra enough to where I never get cut off because I limit you to 15 on Carnival at the drink package.
Yeah.
Well, 15 is 2 o'clock for me. So you tip the bartender good enough to where after you play basketball, take a little nap or whatever, you can start over at like 5 and you're good to go.
Yeah. Ouch, Defense Dad. I feel like that was a microaggression directed at me.
Yeah, that hurt me a little bit too. I was like, damn, I feel bad for Jeff.
I mean, he's got a point. I haven't done much gun stuff lately, so I'm going to call it fair, even though I didn't like it. Yeah. But yeah, so I was actually surprised, but then when I thought about it, I was like, no, it makes sense. The party people were maxing out their drink package and trying to really get bombed every day. Many of them, they weren't getting up and starting early. I mean, you said you're done by 2. That means you start a little early, probably.
As soon as the bar opens, I'm up at. I usually get breakfast. We get up at 6. I get breakfast at 7. Bar opens at 8. And I drink consistently. I don't get wrecked because I don't like being wrecked. But I'll drink consistently until I play basketball at like 2 or 3. And then usually they kick us off the basketball court at like 5 because it's right above the dining hall. So we can't play basketball past 5 when they open the dining hall. And then I'll shower, chill out, and then we go to dinner, and it's game over. Hit the piano bar, do all the fun stuff, maybe some shows, and then gamble till 2 or 3 till they kick us out.
Yeah. Well, I don't drink on the ship. I don't gamble. We do go to the shows. I don't really want to be in a bar. Kind of to Defense Dad's point, if everyone else is drunk and you're not, and it's a bunch of crowded people, it's harder to go out and mingle with people if you're the sober one, which isn't exactly what he said, but I'm kind of going off on a tangent from that. But I wake up so damn early, like naturally. I was up at 5:30, 6 o'clock every morning. And, it gets to 9:30, 10 o'clock. If we're not down watching a show, I'm going to bed. And I think that's when the people who are having their alcohol problems are running into their problems. Like, I didn't run into any issues with drunk people or any awkwardness. I saw 1 or 2 drunk people. There was one guy getting off the elevator that I didn't think he was going to make it on that little step to get off the elevator.
There's plenty. I mean, they'll go down early, and then some other ones will go down like 2 or 3 in the morning, and then you look at them and be like, all right, I'm stepping over you, amateur, and then off I go.
But I was in bed early enough that it didn't matter. Because I get up so early that I'm exhausted.
It sucks. Me too anymore. 9:30, I'm like, starting to get bedtime.
Yeah, but so the ship we were on had an issue. I'm going to take us back so we can see the pool. And I'm gonna say it, okay? Because I'm tired of all these Southern people butchering this. On a Carnival ship, this thing up here at the top, over my, like right here in the picture, that is called a whale tail. It's not a well tail, okay? I don't care how far deep south people are from, the long A exists.
You're pissing off some West Virginia people right now and throwing it out there.
Yeah. Yep. Anyhow, I don't really care. They deserve it. Let's see. Is all the food free all the time? No. They have, the ship we were on only had a couple things that you had to pay for. They had sweets like cookies and cakes and specialty coffee shop. They had a candy shop, and they had a little tiny sushi counter that you could go to. You go to any of those during their normal open hours, and you had to pay for everything. If you go to the main dining room, most of the stuff is included, and there were a few things that you had to pay for. Like if you wanted the surf and turf, you used to be able to get that, right?
You got to pay extra for the lobster tail, baby.
Got to pay extra for it. They had a few things that were like $26 or $28 or $30.
Right. But I mean, you can hit the buffet, you can hit the dining,
everything on the buffet,
the burger places, the pizza places, all that. I mean, there's plenty of places. The burrito place, there's plenty of places that are free, but like the specialty stuff, like the sushi. But I mean, I was getting 2 rolls for like $5.
So here's the thing too. I see G's got a number of comments here. They're building up to the same thing. Will they deliver the food to your room? Well, they used to. So the last cruise that we did like a 2005, I think, and a 2015, and I'm pretty sure you could order room service on those, and there were no upcharges in the main dining room. And now we go back and it's like, well, you can't get just anything. Some of them have upcharges. And if you want room service, there's an extra charge for that. So you can get it delivered to your room. And I think there may be some time windows where you can, but there's also an expectation of a large tip to whoever delivers it. So now you may have an upcharge for the delivery, plus they still expect a tip. Kind of crazy. Thought about it. Defense Dad says, I've thought about a cruise before. I think the only ones I'd be interested in would be an Alaskan cruise. Well, and that's what we're doing next month. And I think that timing is critical. Timing and destination are really critical is what I'm getting with cruise stuff. So if you go when kids are in school, then there will be a whole lot less kids on the ship, a lot more of a calm, less annoying vibe generally. And then destination, some of the destinations attract rowdy people. Like you're going to Cozumel, I expect 2/3 of that ship's going to be drunk because that's the vibe that Cozumel attracts, right? But Alaska is, I haven't been on this one yet, but I'm told it's a much more adult cruise, not like, what do they call it? The naked boat or the nude boat or whatever, where some company rents out a whole cruise ship and it's clothing optional for the whole cruise. I'm not talking about that kind of adult trip. I'm just saying that you should go look it up, man.
I'm doing it right now.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think that based on your destination, but then the other thing really, and this is going to sound terrible, but I believe it's true. Most of the people who are going to cause trouble and like make you miserable on a ship because they're loud or they're rude or they're in your face, I think are going to be like if you're going on a 2 or 3 day budget basement, like these people.
Those are 2 or 3 days are the party cruisers.
They know that they know that either they're only there for a couple days, so they don't have a lot to lose. Like, so what if they get kicked off? It's only a couple days, or maybe they just assume that this is going to be their only cruise in their life because they're poor and they can't afford it. So they just do whatever. Or maybe they're just not that smart. I don't know. See, I'm really trying not to talk myself into a corner here. But I think at the end of the day, the more like low net worth people you have on a cruise, the more spicy it's going to be.
The 3 days, we do a lot of the 3 days, the Friday, Saturday, Sundays, and those are they're there to party. They get their Friday. We drink all day, all the way out.
Yeah,
party, and then you drink all the way on the way back in, and that's pretty much the thing of it. I mean, you hit the shows, you got gambling, you got activities on boards and stuff like that. But it is a party cruise, and the crowd they there's some stuff that goes on.
Sure.
But, you go to a 5-day cruise and you go to a couple stops, and it mellows out, and then like the Alaskan cruise are definitely more mellow.
It attracts
party people aren't going out
there. The people who go on them have different goals, I think. So
yeah,
you got to pick the one with the typical clientele that matches what you want a little better. Can you watch them drive the boat? Well, I mean, from the outside, sure. They do have, so Carnival, I noticed they had a package, it was $85 or $90 or something to get a behind the scenes tour. And you go up on the bridge and you go down in the bowels of the ship and see the engine room and the kitchens. And it's, a couple hours of seeing everything behind the scenes, but you got to pay for that. Cause this is something that's really happening with these ships is they're nickel and diamond people to death.
It's like Spirit Air.
Well, I've heard a lot of that analogy. Yeah. So GWeb says rip off. I don't know. I think for me, the way we did it, we didn't pay for desserts, coffee. Well, I'll go into that just a bit. But I feel like if you go and just say, oh, well, I'm expected to pay for their excursions at every port and go to a specialty place and then go to the bar and buy the drink package and buy the Wi-Fi and go buy some souvenirs in the shop. And like, if you do all of those things, you're going to spend probably 5
Right.
to 10 times the cost of the base rate of the cruise.
Right.
Like, they are milking people. And I'll tell you what, they'll give away free drawing tickets to get you to go to the jewelry store so you'll see stuff, and they try to sell you their $5,000 rings and stuff. And I'll tell you what, it was painful, but it was very educational. One of my kids was like, Dad, can you believe they're falling for this shit? Like, the people who were like, oh my God, yes, and here, just put it on my card. And I'm like, yeah. I don't want to say there's a sucker born every minute, because, I mean, I want to be fair here. The evidence that I saw on the ship suggested that it's more frequent than that. Yeah. So let's see. Does the buffet serve Welltail? No, they don't. Yeah, that was clever though. Seems like a ripoff. I think that the point of the cruise, from the cruise company's standpoint, is to part you with as much money as possible, as quickly as possible,
definitely.
and then to book you to come back and do the same thing again.
Definitely.
Now, if the people are getting what they want sufficiently that they're happy to hand over their money, then I don't think it's a ripoff. Like, if you sell me the drink package, that's a ripoff. You sell TJ the drink package, he's saving money by buying it.
You're losing money.
We have different goals. Well, I mean, in all seriousness, and each of those things that I mentioned, maybe it's better for some people to go.
Well, it depends on how you want a vacation. I mean, it's different for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can hang out by the pool and drink and listen to music all day and smoke some cigars, and I'm having a good time. And like the first couple of times I got off and did, we did stuff on the beach, and we went to they had the private beach over there in Nassau. I think it was Nassau. And they had a private beach, and it was cool, but your drink package drinks don't go over there. So we, of course.
Oh, wow.
Maybe I might have brought my own bourbon and some Pepsis. So I was.
That sounds reasonable.
I was well hydrated on the beach, and then we went back to the boat. But it was, it all depends on what you want. I mean, there's people that just go there for the shows. There's people that just go there just to chill out, and they sit by the pool all day. And there's other people that sit in the casino all freaking day. I've seen them like walk through, and I'm like, Dad, they're still here. I'm like,
Yeah. I don't. Oh man, I'm going to get started on that. Right. I don't gamble.
I mean, I get a ton because I usually use Carnival, and I get a ton of points from my travel agent. So it's always like, well, like you look online, you're like, this is what it is, and you put on your points and all that. And she's like, oh no, I can get it for, like $600, and you're like, all right, I'll take a balcony for $600.
Yeah,
good to go.
So here's G-Web said that his parents took a cruise and the boat got diverted on a search and rescue for a while, and they missed a port. So this picture is off the back of the ship, and you see this little horizontal or vertical stanchion. That's the transom light. It's in the dead center, and you'll notice the water's all riled up on one side and it's calm on the other, because there are two propulsion units, two big engines driving propellers, one on each side. Only one of them worked the entire cruise. We actually got an email 2 days before the cruise left saying, because of a top speed limitation on the ship, we're only going to one of the ports. We were supposed to go to Bimini and to Freeport in the Bahamas, and we only went to Freeport.
Oh, boo.
Because the boat was just crawling along.
Boo.
And I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
Did they give you any credits or anything like that?
We got $100 per room onboard credit, which actually worked because we were able to reverse out some things we'd already paid for, apply that credit, and then cash out the money. So we actually, between that and port fees and taxes for Freeport, we ended up getting $350 back or something. And it wasn't expensive. Well, I mean, it wasn't an inexpensive cruise. I think the boss told me we were in for about $3,000 on it. So it's not as cheap as I was thinking it was.
That's about right.
But
So we get because the balcony will sleep. We usually get the balcony, and if we're just there like a 3-day, we're there to party, so we'll get 4 people in the balcony room.
Yeah,
and it'll run us like $1,500.
yeah, and I agree, but yeah, I like a cabin in the mountains or a tent in the mountains or a hammock in the mountains, and I do that sometimes. But I'm not a real social
have
person
mountains
on
to
the
fence
ship.
that.
What's that?
I said I don't have mountains. I have to go on a boat.
Yeah, right. You have a floating mountain to get you up over the
G-Webs is down there like, yeah, G-Webs, listen, there's a lot you can do that's cheaper than Disney right now.
Oh, geez, yeah. Demand that tour for free because it sounds cool, but that's a ripoff. Yeah, we didn't do it. I was interested in it, and because we had an extra day at sea where, like, yeah, it'd be neat. Yeah, I was an aircraft mechanic. I like mechanical stuff. My grandfather's in the Navy. I like touring big ships. I'd have loved to have seen it, but I wasn't going to pay $90 to walk around for a couple hours. Our captain all the captains are Italian now. He had a typical Italian sounding name. I don't remember what it was, but
Mario.
But I did hear that the original cast of the Love Boat are doing a cruise. Like, they're going to go out on a ship and like sign stuff and mingle with people. They're not going to be working on the ship because they're all ancient now. But
I want Isaac to mix me a drink.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, maybe you could find him. I don't know if Captain Stubing is still alive. I get a timeshare on the boat though. Yeah. I'm shocked that I'm sure someone is selling timeshares on cruise ships.
No, like, there's people there are people that spend like all year on a cruises. They just book They book back to back to back, and they keep all the crap in the room, and they just sit there. They'll get and then someone will like, it's cheaper than going on vacation. It's cheaper than the retirement home and everything else. I'm like,
definitely cheaper.
I guess.
If you don't need expensive medical care, I think it's definitely cheaper than like an assisted living facility where they make the food for you. Yeah, from what I hear. G-Web says, did your kids like or love the vacation? I think they liked some parts, loved some parts. It was actually pretty good. And none of them were incredibly eager. I had one saying, well, I'm only going if I can take my friend with me. I'm like, no, this is a family trip. So, and then 2 that were like, yeah, we're busy. I mean, my son was just pretty blunt about, I don't really care. Like, I have stuff to do, but I'm going to go and not complain and do my best to have fun because it's a family trip and I know it's important.
You got to learn to enjoy life a little bit.
Yeah, but they all relaxed and enjoyed it. And well, my girls, I had told them that on a carnival ship, what you see in this picture is what they call the Serenity deck. And on that ship, it's real little, but it's the adult only section. And it's not like the top section or anything.
All right, I'm going to ask a question. You don't have to answer. Did you get any of the Serenity deck towels or the other towels to bring home with you?
No, I know I didn't have to answer, and I could just make something up. But I mean, I don't want to risk. I didn't want to risk getting charged for them.
Well, if people, you know how it is. You know how it works. You have to show your card to rent the towel, and you get it back. Well, people leave those towels all the time.
Yeah.
And if they're there when I'm there running around at like 2 a.m,
I don't know, man. I wouldn't want someone to do that.
I'm just saying, I've got some yellow and some blue towels in my house.
I hear you.
Carnival. I don't know how they got there.
I appreciate the warning. I'll keep an eye on my towels when we're around each other. Let's see. 5 people for 4 days. That's cheaper than Disney. Yeah, oh, definitely. Disney's crazy. And there are people who spend $8K on the boat for the trip we were on. I'm sure there are people who spent $8K to get a suite with a balcony, and then they went and they did the upcharge stuff. They got the Wi-Fi. They got Wi-Fi was going to be $125 a person for the length of the cruise for one device, and it was a rolling device. So like you log one in, it knocks the other one off. But And then the drink package was several $100s, I think, per person. And here's a fun fact: if you have two adults that are 21 or over in the same room, if you have more than one drinking age adult in the room and anyone gets the package, then everyone has to get the package.
Yep.
So, because Jen and I had, she was, well, maybe I'll just get it and have a little bit. And then when it's like, well, if one person gets it, both have to. It's like, I am not spending $600 on booze.
Better off just buying drinks when she needs them. But they're not that bad the price.
And we didn't get any on the ship. We waited when we were at the island. When we were at the little resort that we went to, it wasn't a resort, it was a restaurant with a beach. We specifically went to a little restaurant with a beach and we got a couple drinks there because they were $7 instead of $14 on the ship.
Yep.
This would have been $14 or $15 on the ship, and it was $7. So I don't like paying $7 for a drink that I could make at home for a fraction of that. But at least I was like, all right, I'll do that. But I'm not. I mean, I saw people pounding cocktails at $14 a piece, one after the other, and was like, my wallet cried, and it wasn't even my money. That's a spicy meatball. Yeah. Yeah, we didn't go to the captain's brunch thing where we could meet him because I knew I'd make fun of him and his funny accent and probably get kicked off the ship. There are old people that just live on ships. That is true, G-Webs. I've never been invited on a cruise, but I do not think I would go, says G-Webs. Well, here's the deal. I've never been invited on a cruise either. It's kind of like, Holiday Inn has never called me and said, hey, come out and stay someplace, It's, I mean,
they haven't.
You book it like anything else. But I mean, that said, if someone wants to invite me, understand a couple things. Number one, if you invite me, I'm expecting you're going to pay for it. Number two, I'm a dick. Yeah, that's probably all you need to know.
Yeah, I mean, listen, man, I'll go. And I'll even pay for my own drink package because I know it's pricey.
Yeah.
But you will have fun.
I never got included. Well, here's the deal, G-Webs. If you wanted to try, I know I heard what you said, that even if you got invited, you probably wouldn't go. I am of the mind that this is not true of everything, and we will have that discussion here in a moment about some of the things I am not game for. But I tend to be, when it comes to travel and that kind of thing, I want to go new places, try new things. I may have some ideas of what I'll like or what I won't like, but I would rather go out and test those theories and see, because can you fish in the ports? You can book fishing trips. Yeah.
I think a couple we went on had a couple surf fishing expeditions, like in the morning. You met them at the dock, and they take you surf fishing and stuff.
Yeah. People get kicked off of cruise ships and banned for life for trying to fish over the side, but that's another discussion. Would I go on an Australia cruise or across the whole Pacific? I would. What do you think, T?
Oh, I would. I mean, I'd probably spend more on the drink package, but
yeah. So here's the deal, though. Like when I was in the Air Force and we would fly, like we go to Europe or Asia or South America or Africa or any of those places, we're flying over open water. I do not like flying over open water. I remember I took a friend on back when I was flying, like renting small single engine planes and flying places. We'd do the $100 hamburger, we called it, where you take off, you fly someplace to get lunch, and then you fly back. And we flew out to the Outer Banks, and going over the sound out towards the ocean, I was like, I climbed up to like 10,000 feet. I was like, if I lose an engine, I'm not going in the water. I am going to glide all the way to the runway. And we did. We got out over the runway and spiraled down, and it took a while, but it's like, I do not like, I'm out of my element in ocean water. So you would think I'd be super nervous on a ship, but honestly, it didn't really bother me. None of the cruises I've been on have bothered me in that respect. They may have flown somewhere to start them. I didn't pay attention. Yeah. Australia, that's a place where everything tries to kill you. Yeah.
Florida.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, definitely.
Pretty close. We just don't have kangaroos, which how fun would that be down here?
I don't know, man. You've seen some videos.
I mean, we got Florida man and gators. Florida man and kangaroos, dude. So we'd break the internet.
You would have people doing like they do with the pit bulls, where they put them on steroids and feed them creatine and protein all day.
I'd be riding a kangaroo around, dude. What are you doing? Hoppy, let's go.
You'd have kangaroos that look like Schwarzenegger, hopping around, punching people. I bet you can get on lots of boats for the return trips, etc. Yeah, I don't know. I know that they do repositioning. Like, I'm learning all this stuff, right? But you can get on repositioning cruises where, like, the ship that we're going to be on for the Alaska cruise spends half of the year or some portion of the year sailing out of, I think, Alabama or Texas, and they go south. And then they go around and go up to and do the Alaska stuff the other part of the year. So
you can get on those European ones that way too. The ones that ship over there and they end up coming over here. You can get on those fairly reasonable.
They call it
fly over there first and come back.
They call it the repositioning cruise, where they're moving the home port.
Yeah, those are reasonable. But I mean, you got to spend money to fly over there and get on the ship. But other than that, you get a cheap flight.
As a creator for free, so and this is something that since all of us in here talking right now do firearm stuff, there seems to not be the same stigma in the firearm space as there is in some of the other stuff. Like, I've watched a bunch of cruise channel videos and 3D printing channel videos, and like pretty much any other market outside of firearms, and the content creators are like, they're very proud of themselves for paying for everything themselves and never getting anything free, never accepting anything free. It's as if, if someone provides you something, then your honesty goes out the window. I tend to think that whether you have integrity or not isn't necessarily related to whether someone provides a product without sending you a bill. But what I'm saying is, all the videos I've watched, I've never heard anyone say, I got this for free. No, I take that back. I did see some people say they were offered, but they turned it down.
Because I've seen some that have taken, like a Virgin, this is the cruise line out of Miami, the all adult one. It's supposed to be awesome from what I've heard, but they've had like I met like an influencer cruise kind of, where they had a bunch of people that do cruise reviews and stuff like that. They got them on there for nothing.
Right. I saw
they invite you. You're like, all right, whatever.
Well, like the guy that I was watching, it's actually they're kind of, I don't want to say they're kind of famous, but within the cruise review stuff, they go around and they book like the expensive suites in the exclusive areas on the exclusive ships. They got to be spending so much money.
Oh yeah.
And they like go out of their way to say, oh no, we're paying for all of this. And one of the cruise lines offered them to bring them in and give them pretty much that same treatment for free, but they were going to dictate how many videos, what the titles of the videos, give them outlines, and they wanted approval before things were posted. And they're like, oh no, not even close. And we appreciate it. They weren't mean, because but they were like, yeah, we appreciate it, but that's not how we work.
Well, they were like, we're following GearReport's protocol.
Yeah. Well, but they didn't, because a GearReport protocol is like, if those are the only terms offered, it would be declined, because you're not going to dictate.
Oh, yeah.
You don't. No one gets review authority before it's posted. No one
Right.
dictates what our titles are going to be, and no one gives us an outline. You are welcome to provide us product and
Right.
suggest how you think it would look good, but I'm going to do what I want. You're
Yep.
going to do what you want. Yeah. I mean, we're not making commercials. We're reviewing products. So you want to give me a script, that becomes a commercial, and now you got to talk to my agent.
He's pricey.
Oh yeah.
I mean, she's pricey.
No, the only time I've ever done anything where I had an agent, it was the commercial a couple years ago, and I never actually. Todd arranged that for me. He never got anything for it. But anyhow, that was a favor to the casting people, that they needed a specific vehicle and role filled, and he made the hookup. So he profited on the other end through some professional connection stuff. Anyhow, yeah. So yeah, we really went off the rails on the travel stuff tonight, but it's really interesting. And since everyone here are content creators, I'm curious how much time you spend looking at other markets and kind of doing deep dives into other markets, just to see, people who are covering things that are unrelated to what we cover. How are they doing it? What's the same? What's different? Who are the ones who, they post a video and within an hour they've got, over 20,000 views? What are they doing? How are they doing it? I feel like I'm learning some things that I'm too lazy to implement, but I would if I were smarter and more diligent.
You're super smart.
Yeah. Anyhow, yeah, so that's kind of what's happening, and why we didn't have anything published, and why AJ's mad at me that I haven't published all his stuff yet.
No.
Are you going to review the tools you use to video and photo the trip? I probably should, but like if we look at the video stuff that I did, the pictures were just an iPhone XR. So yeah, I'm using old enough stuff that is really not much use in doing reviews on them. But then the video that I did was with a GoPro, and it was a Hero 5. They're on a 12 now. And honestly, I mainly have this camera for backpacking because it's very durable. And it was cheap because I bought it from one of our fraternity brothers, gave me a deal. Like, here, $100. I'm not using it. Send me $100. I'll send it to you. And it's been amazing. But it didn't do as well as I'd hoped on this trip. I'm actually thinking of buying one. I think I brought this up a couple weeks ago and then forgot to go into detail on it. I'm looking real quick on my open tabs to see if I can find it. I think I closed that tab.
Oh, no.
It was a company I wasn't familiar with they make like the 360 cameras now, and they've got a little action camera format camera that it's $400. And I mean, you know me, I don't want to spend $400, and especially after I just spent today $749.31 to get 2 keys made for a freaking Toyota. It was supposed to be $500, and I thought that was bad enough. But then they had issues; they couldn't get the keys to sync with the car, so they had to reprogram the ECU in the car, which ran the price up. Yeah, I saw that G-Webs was on with his girlfriend Mercedes, watching her latest how to make money stuff. And I think it's good to kind of cast a wide net, watching people who have different ideas, because you can get some really cool ideas for things. It's like, I could be doing that and making money too. And, see to find the right mix. So, wow. I'm not sure what the wow was for. For saying it was his girlfriend? I mean, bro, everyone knows you got a crush on Mercedes. That's cool. She's cute. That's
Is
okay.
she?
You also missed Jim's live shows. I have, and honestly, I've just been so busy lately. She's cute-ish. She's cute adjacent. I mean, she's got a nice personality that kind of pushes her into
It's all
cute
that
territory.
matters.
But yeah, the Jim stuff. It's a guy talking about some more, creator economy type, how to maximize different Amazon programs.
No idea what you're talking about.
And I need to spend more time on those things, but I've just been so freaking busy.
I know. You're always busy. You're always doing stuff. But I'm glad you took the cruise and you had a little fun time with the fam. That's what you need. You got to get a break once in a while.
Yep. And in about a week, I'll take one of the kids to the airport for the summer. She'll be gone out living in a tent in legit wilderness for the whole summer.
Oof.
And this is the kid that a year ago was still taking 3 showers a day and going through a stick of deodorant every week, so just for paranoia. So it's going to be very interesting to see if the same kid comes back.
She might come. I mean, she'll come back. I mean, she might be like the girl without a paddle with the hairy legs and everything.
Yeah. I see what G-Webs is saying here. Having guests on, interviewing them, talking about virtual assistants. And yeah, I know there's so much that I'm behind on that I need to do. Well, like, for example, we're doing this as a live stream on YouTube, and I actually paid for Podbean and had an issue with getting the RSS feed to work. So I need to go back in and upload like 50 episodes. I just need to take a day and do that. And I haven't. And I actually probably more than that, because a bunch of them, it got the information, but the video file or the audio file didn't make it. And it's going to take a day or two to go in and catch all that up. But I really need to do that. And maybe that's where a virtual assistant would be helpful. Wait, man, I tried to shut the show down here in a minute. But yes, that's the neat thing is we have another platform where G and several other people talk a lot about Amazon stuff.
Yeah,
you can get stuff to automatically cram into Podbean. I don't know. That's a question mark. I don't know. I have to figure it all out. I had so I was using the short background is I wasn't using Podbean, and I had a plug-in to WordPress where I'd just upload the thumbnail, a short description, the audio file, and it would automatically push it out to all the different podcast platforms. And at some point, it was still pushing it out, everything except the audio file. So it's like you click on it and it never plays. And it did that for a while before I figured that out. I do go to bed early. So today, I took a nap today. I never take a nap, but that's how exhausted I am.
I'm going to bed right after this. I got to get up at like 4.
Yeah.
So I can get to the airport.
Wow. Let's go ahead and shut it down then. We're hitting our hour. Anything you want to talk about before? You want to give us a preview? What are your goals for NRA?
Oh, I'm just going to go hang out with everybody, see everybody. Maybe go talk to some brands that we talked to at SHOT and follow up with some things.
Yeah.
And Snob and Ghost and all, and Gary and C4 Sarge and all them are there.
Yep.
So Clover's there, I assume. So we'll see.
Yep. Cool.
I'm on a couch as far as I know. Couch or a chair at Ghost and Clover's place.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we talked about this earlier. A Dallas couch isn't even in the same ballpark as a Vegas couch.
No,
and
just
you and I have both spent. You and I have each spent at least a week.
Keith, I mean, listen, worst comes to worst is Keith's there from 5150. He's going to be there this year. So I'm like, no. We're like, hey, how big's your couch? I mean, jump ship. We'll see.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So I think we will be back next Thursday at DJ shows up right as we're shutting down. All you'll be safe. Have fun. Carry your guns and rock. Okay.
All
I
right.
think it's a good plan. Speaking
That's-
of rock,
Rock. Oh,
got a
no.
new set of wireless guitar transmitters to test. I probably got 7 or 8 different sets of those now. So I'm going to have to do a big comparison here shortly. But that is going to suffice for Guitar-mageddon for this week. That's all we're going to do. Didn't
Oh, I
even talk
missed. So you
about
didn't do it until then? That was it?
No, I got 2 Humvees sitting in my driveway. Didn't talk about Humvee stuff.
Jeez.
Didn't
Humvee getting
go through reviews. Any
TJ's happy hour.
Didn't do that. Kevin wasn't here. We didn't do a patch of the week. It's like whatever. We talked about what we wanted to, and that's it.
We talked about your awesome vacations. It's cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, we appreciate lurkers too. All right. With that, we're going to shut it down. We'll see you next week. TJ will have a full report on all the amazing things that he
Maybe
saw,
I may even
participated
do some
in,
live stuff since I'm
instigated. Going to get the channel shut down again. That would be amazing. Yeah. So if we're not back next week, it means TJ went live and NRA got us shut down because YouTube hates pew-pews. But, assuming we're back, we'll see you next week, Thursday, 9 p.m. on the East Coast for this week of Gear Report. Until then, we'll see you at the range.